Hi everyone. For the purpose of today's video, what I want to show you is how I take the idea that I have and move it to canvas. So I'm taking a sketch that I created to show like the idea that I had first. This is actually a California poppy design that I had done in like an Art Nouveau style. So you can see as of right now, everything's very rough, but I'm going to show you how I transfer this over to the canvas. And I did want to answer, I got a couple of questions as to whether or not my paintings are done by freehand or if I use stencils. And actually my answer to that is I do both. There's a lot of measurement involved, which I'll show you here in a minute. But then I do actually create some very small stencils. Like I'll probably end up creating a stencil probably for the flowers buds here, maybe even the leaves. But every painting that I do sort of transforms itself. You'll notice when I finally end up finishing this painting, you'll notice the differences that happen through time. So anyway, once again, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer this onto the canvas so that I can get started on painting. So the first thing I do is I take this and I'm looking at different elements on my sketch here and what I can start to measure out. So there's this point here, we have this point. There are different points throughout this whole sketch that I can start to measure. And for the purpose of this painting, I'm actually going to be transferring the idea onto a canvas. It's in this case it's an 8x8 inch Artist Loft gallery wrapped heavy duty canvas. These are really nice. I use them all the time. What I like is they're also they have a lot of depth to them. So I actually unwrapped one already. I'm going to set this aside and beef up the lighting here a little bit. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to use different points on my sketch and start to measure. And what I use, I like to use a T-square and measure everything out. The nice thing about the T-square is I don't have to worry about whether or not it's a straight line. As long as I have a good quality canvas. And in this case, I find that the Artist Loft canvas is has really nice straight edges, so I'm not having to worry so much about that. Okay, I think I'm going to start. This looks like it's about halfway. So first of all, this is an 8x8 inch canvas. I'm going to mark off the halfway point on both sides. And don't worry, all of the pencil marks that I'm making, they do end up getting completely covered up by the paint. So I want to start out so I understand and know where the center point is. And you don't have to always start off at the center. It's really nice to have a good balance without having things centered. So in this case, I think I may actually have use the center point. So right now, this is the cross section I just did. I'm now going to kind of figure out and guess where I would like to have this next point start. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to have that at a 1/2 inch. That just feels right. You always want to make sure that this is tight up against the side of your painting. Okay, that's that, and I'm not sure how tight I made this. I'm going to go over that again. Yeah, it looks like I wasn't great there. Don't worry, you don't really have to erase or anything right now. And you'll actually see as I work on this painting, there are various times where I like what I do, and then there are other times that I'm not so certain that I am liking what I have done. And I'll show you what you do in those cases. Okay, so the next point here that I'm going to create is I want to have a certain border. I need to have like a resting area or a white space all the way around. It's not going to necessarily be white, but it's just like a blank space all the way around. It forms like a natural border, and it doesn't create tension between your sketch or the design and the outside. So I'm feeling like this needs to be like a 1-inch border. Okay, so I'm gonna measure this all out. Sorry, I just hit the camera there. My bad. So guys, as I'm doing these videos, I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you're liking what I'm doing, please like my video, and if you happen to know someone that would be interested in a video like this, please share it. And, you know, subscribe to my channel, because I'll be posting a lot more of these. I'll actually, in this case, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through, you're going to see this painting created from beginning to end. There'll be other videos that I post as well, but this is going to be one of the videos that you'll be able to watch through the entire process. Okay, so you'll see that I have this white space designated all the way around, and you see that the center point, and I created the point right here. Okay, so where's the next point? Okay, right down here. This is the next area that I want to designate. So this looks like it's a little bit more than a 1/2 inch. I think I'll go about like 3/4 inches there. You know what? I don't think that's quite an inch. I think I'm going to go back over that, because I want to make sure that it's balanced well. And if it's not balanced well, the painting's not going to look, it's going to look off. Okay, so about 3/4 is what I said, so we're going to do here. And just to make sure I know which is top and which is bottom, I'm going to put like a little X up here, just showing that this is the top of my painting for now. Oops. Okay. There's that. All right, so I have this all mapped out down there. Now I'm going to make sure that I map this out. And this looks like the width up here is larger than down here. This is larger than this area. But I'm thinking this kind of looks like it may be 1.25 inches. Yeah, let's see what that looks like on here. So 1.25 inches. Or do I want to go 1.5 inches? Let's see. 1.25 inches would be right here. 1.5 inches. You know, I think I might change my mind. I think I might go to 1.5 inches. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm gonna do the 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna roll that out. And you know what? I'm starting my line within the whites, not the white area, within this boxed in area. There's no need to create extra lines out here because that's all of our white space. Okay, so we have that lined off. All right. I'm not going to do these yet. I think what I'm going to do is actually right now I have the vertical lines that I want to create, but now I want to create the horizontal line, or the horizontal areas going across here. All right, so I think the next one is I want to create this marking, and then this is, yeah, I'm going to create these two and this two. So those two. All right, so from our center point, this is looking like it's about the same space here. I think this was 1/2 inch that I created, so I'm going to do 1/2 inch on either side. Yes, and here's my painting. Woo! Okay, that's top, 1/2 inch on either side. You know what? I just want to quick measure this to make sure that's what I did do. Oh no, this was 3/4 inch. Okay, so I'm wrong. It was 3/4 inch on either side. You know what? Yeah, go figure. I'm recording this and then I'm noticing that I did not do this quite right. I'm going to cross out the area that I do not want to follow. And you know what? I better just quick measure. Okay. Let me quick redo the center line area because I don't want it to not look balanced. You often see that my paintings, they are not quite balanced, and I do that intentionally, but I want to at least start out balanced. So, okay, so 3/4 on that side and 1, 3 on this side. Okay. Now I'm going to start these rolls. And I only need it really down here, but I may find an area that I want to pair up with that. So I think I'm gonna just extend it to the top here. Now remember, this here, this line, that is not what I'm going to be following. It's going to be from here to here, here to here. That's that. That's this area of the painting. And now the next one, I'm going to go from here to here. Now I like to try to show balance around the painting, so I try to find areas that have something that is equal to another spacing. Now up here, it was what, 1.5 that I ended up using. I think I might actually use that same spacing, 1.5 inches on either side. I'll see how that works out. So 1.5 it would take, I'm gonna go over here. All right, you know what, to make this easier, I'm gonna do this 1.5. Yeah, that's the ticket. Okay, so that side, you know what, since I'm already here, I'm going to get this lined up here a while. Oops. Keep on forgetting that every time that I have to bring it in a little bit more to get that roll set up correctly. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Using my math skills. I'm actually really bad at math, but you know, put it into use what the heck am I trying to say? You know, put math into the context of art for me. That's how I get it, and that's how I understand. But math is actually really fun when it comes to art. All right, so I have this point and this point designated. Now I want to see any other points I want to create. I think I might end up doing the point that I think the flower is going to end on either side. Let's see. You know what? I may end up, no, that's too far. So I think I'm going to come in from this point here. I'm going to come in just a little bit. I think I'm going to create this point down here, and I think that's what I'm going to line up with my flower here. Even though we will not end up seeing the edge of this particular flower, I do want it to line up. I want to have a visual reference to show. So anyway, I'm going to do this point, and it looks like this comes in, geez, I want to say like a 1/4 inch. I'm going to see what that looks like, and yeah, you know what, I think a 1/4 inch, would that be too much? Let's see. Flower here. Maybe a little less than 1/4. Maybe I'll actually come in. Yeah, I think I'm going to come in actually only 1/8 of an inch. So let's have that, mark that off. And once again, I'm taking the lines all the way up to the top because I'm trying to make sure that I have different points of alignment. It's more, in some cases, it might be more of a visual cue, but I do want some type of alignment. Okay. Alrighty. Woohoo! Now, okay, so we have that point. We have this point. I'm not going to worry about these right now. I think one thing I do want to do is I want to have this line up, but this is actually going to come in my painting, is going to end up moving all the way up to the top. But I do want this flower to come down a little bit, and I'm thinking this is probably going to be, I don't know, this one here might be 1/4 of an inch. I might make it a little bit more. Let's see what that looks like on the painting. Like, I think I want it to come down to at least this point, so I want to see how much that is. Dude. All right. So it does look like 1/4 of an inch exactly. Okay. Turn this. All right. So what I'm doing, I have all these lines down, and then I will actually do a fair amount of this in freehand, but I only want some of the key elements drawn in pencil, because a lot of the freehand comes into when I start painting. That's where I'll end up doing more of the freehand work. But there are elements like these buds, like I had mentioned before, that I'm going to create a little piece for. And I'll show you some of them that I've created before. So these are some of the little pieces. You'll notice some of my pine cone paintings, which you can always follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just go and look for Melissa S. Zane Artist on either of those social media platforms, so you can take a look there, and you'll see that I do have some pine cone paintings, but it's basically it's an egg shape. That is what some people call it a stencil. I call it just a